Welcome to Alpha as Reyn, where we take a look at alphas, betas, early access, and the like of upcoming games. In this episode, we'll be covering the free prototype of the recently Indiegogo funded Indivisible. From the creators of the fighting game Skullgirls under the development team Lab Zero Games, Indivisible is an RPG with side-scrolling exploration aspects, drawing inspiration from games like Valkyrie Profile and Super Metroid. In the prototype, you play as Ajna, a girl proficient in martial arts and weaponry who has the ability to absorb people into her being and summon these incarnations into battle as party members. This is actually a clever reason to control a single character outside of battles, but because everyone is within Ajna, if she dies, then it's game over for everyone, which the demo will thankfully restart you on given checkpoints if you do fall in a fight. Battles are initiated simply by running into or attacking enemies. Once started, the game shifts over to a form of active turn-based combat. When a bar is filled for a character, you can perform an attack with the corresponding button of that party member. And you actually have multiple ways of attacking, as there are pressing up and down variants as well, which can do different things such as attacking multiple times or more than one opponent. On the defensive, you press the same corresponding buttons to block incoming attacks to reduce damage, with characters glowing red before and in order to react accordingly. However, there are attacks that go after your entire party, so you'll have a button to have everyone block at once, but the cost of some of your ED meter. ED is essentially your special meter, building up as you successfully attack and defend. Once enough ED is filled, you can use it for more powerful attacks and spells, such as ones from Ajna's Haruka form. Though keep in mind that any ED at the end of fights heals your party and that a little is needed for the aforementioned blocking, so it's a strategic matter of when to use ED or not at the right times. When not fighting, this is where the platforming and exploration mechanics come in. Ajna can perform wall jumps and at one point gets an axe that not only clears patches blocked by thorns, can also be used to climb walls, empathizing that weapons will be key tools in reaching new areas in the game. These two aspects of RPG's battles with side-scrolling works well, and the transition between them is nearly flawless. I say nearly because there was one time Ajna got launched into the air from an enemy and onto a platform, which caused an unintentional leaving of the battle. Thankfully, that was the closest thing to a bug I found, as the prototype runs quite smoothly. The platforming is responsive and the engaging battles go at a good pace, with the ability to string together multiple character attacks for some satisfying combos. Since this is more of a demonstration of the game concept rather than a build, one to convince people to fund it no less, the progression is pretty straightforward. For example, there isn't an experience or level up system of sorts for winning battles. Instead, you eventually earn more attacks per turn and the other 3 characters joining you. And while each character just has a set 5,000 hit points, the prototype still does a good job differentiating the 4 party members. Ajna is the well-rounded main character, the archer Zabai attacks with fast arrows, Tungar strikes with powerful or multi-hit blows from his sword turban, yes really, and the shaman Razmi casts spells from the spirit of a tiger she keeps in a lamp and also wears its skin, kinda morbid, ranging from fire swipe attacks, status effects on enemies, and what is most likely the most important ability, being able to heal the party as her ED move. Razmi is the most versatile incarnation in this, but has the slowest attack meter to build up to balance that. And as you get all 4 members and get up to 3 attacks each per turn, you still feel a sense of getting stronger without a conventional level up system like in other RPGs. Hell, at one point you'll encounter enemies from the start later on and you'll be able to one-shot them without entering a battle, signifying that when you do get stronger in the game, weaker enemies can be dealt with during side-scrolling. In terms of controls, the prototype handles them very well, though I'm not sure how well they are if you just use a keyboard and mouse. I recommend playing this game with a controller, as the platforming and the 4-face button interface for the party commands is a natural choice for one. And as the game that's just conceptualized, it looks pretty good, with the same fluid animation style from Skullgirls for the characters and nicely detailed environments. The art design is aiming for a Southeast Asian look, and so far seems to be pulling it off. The music is pleasant to listen to as well, as the composer, Hiroki Kakuda, worked on games like Secret of Mana, and it's great to see a talented game composer be on board for Indivisible. The battle music, especially the bosses, is fantastically orchestrated and really adds to the intensity. Oh yeah, there is a boss at the end of this, and it is a bit of a challenge, but as long as you time your defenses and manage your ED meter well, you can get by it. Overall, I found this to be a well-executed demonstration for what Indivisible has to offer. As a fan of RPGs and Metroidvania-style games, I am on board for this and backed for a copy during its crowdfunding campaign, which, needless to say, surpassed its goal of $1.5 million. Even if you didn't contribute to the funding, you can still download this for free on PC and PlayStation 4 if you haven't tried it out yet. Like the thousands of other backers, I look forward to the final project, which will have more features promised, like Ajna being able to access a realm within her mind at any time, acting as a home base for her party members and other people she's recruited. And as the Indiegogo campaign went on, a ton of other party members were revealed, all with brief backstories, and even some other indie game characters like Shantae. And with that, I'll leave you all with what is undoubtedly the best introduction of all the revealed characters.
Woof. Bark bark. Woof woof. Bark bark bark. Woof. Bark woof.